Czy masz odwagę powiedzieć żonom, dziś stałem tam, gdzie stało domo?
Hi guys and welcome. Today we'll talk what you need to know and what is extremely important if you want to go to the US as a tourist, especially if you are a YouTuber, which is a little complicated, but I'll try to tell you in as simplest way as possible. First, if you want to travel abroad, abroad, European Union, you need to prepare. You need to take some steps to make your travel comfortable. And it's different if you want to go to one country or another. And it's all about documents. If you want to go to the US as a tourist, probably you will use visa waiver program, which means that you can go to the US for up to 90 days without a visa, only with electronic registration. If you are a citizen of the European Union and citizen of a member state which is allowed to enter US as a tourist for up to 90 days, you need to have a passport. You need to get an electronic authorization. You need to go on ESTA CBP Gov website, register there, pay $21 and apply for a ESTA authorization. This is you need to fill a form and wait for information that your application is approved. And there will be a date, because your authorization is valid for 2 years. Your passport can be valid for 10 years, but your authorization to enter the US is valid for 2 years. If the time will lapse, you will need to make a new authorization. Authorization is valid for 2 years, but you can enter the US for up to 90 days. Exactly the time how long you can stay in the US will be written by a CBP officer. Then you need to know that you can enter only for a tourist purpose. You are not allowed to work, study, or do anything else than tourism in the US during the time. And of course, you need to have money to support yourself during your stay in the US. You need to have a hotel reservation at least for the first night, but the best for a whole stay. Then you need to have a return ticket. You are not allowed to go to the US on a one-way ticket. You need to have a return ticket. And it's a great idea to have a contact person information printed on a one piece of paper, hotel reservation printed on a one piece of paper, your return ticket also printed on a paper, a hard copy, and you can have your ESTA authorization also printed. Because when you make a check-in, when you drop your luggage in the European airport, in your departure airport, they can ask you for a printed ESTA approval. In the US, they will have your ESTA in the system, so that's not a problem. But nice thing is that sometimes CBP officer may ask you for a confirmation of a hotel and for confirmation of a return ticket. So it's a good idea to have it on a paper, not on a phone, because if your battery will be empty, you will have a problem. It's good to have a hard copy of this document. And then, if you are a YouTuber, it's a little complicated, because there is a different definition of work in the US and a different information of work in Europe. In Europe, the place where you work is not the place where you stay, is the place where you pay a tax. So if you are self-employed in Germany, but you are now in Turkey, you don't work in Turkey. If you make videos in Turkey, you don't work in Turkey, even if you are full-time YouTuber. You work in Germany, because you have self-employment in Germany and you pay tax in Germany. Similar, if you are, for example, in Ukraine, but you are self-employed in Germany, you work in Germany even if you stay for some time in Ukraine. And this is important. If you have an GmbH, Gesellschaft mit Geschäfte Haftung, or LTD, limited company in Germany, and you stay in Finland, you can stay in Finland, but you work in Germany remotely. This is in the European definition. In US, this is different. In the US system, law system, the place where you work is the place where you stay. So, if you are self-employed in France and you are in US, and you will make YouTube videos as a YouTuber as your job, you work in the US. And if you are on ESTA, it is illegal. So it's very important that in the US, if you want to make videos, you have to do it as a hobby. It's your hobby. It's not your business. It's not your job. Because you are not allowed to work in the US. What is the most important? How to prove it? You need to have contract, job contract in Europe, or be a student in Europe, or you can have be self-employed in Europe, and you work in Europe as in your job. So, for example, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. YouTube is my hobby. It's a passion. It's a hobby. It's what I love to do, but I don't earn enough money from YouTube for my living. It's not my job. It's not my full-time job. It's not my part-time job. It's my hobby. I'm self-employed in Germany. I work in Germany as an IT engineer. I create an apps on Android. This is my full-time job. But YouTube, this is my hobby. I earn some money from time to time on YouTube, from AdSense, from donation, but it's not my job. So when I go to the US as a tourist, I go there to visit some place, to see something which was interesting, and I shoot a video. I record videos on my YouTube channel, but not as my job. I record it as a hobby, to show my friends, to show my family, to show some my mates, colleagues, but not as that's not my job. It's only my hobby. So this is a very important thing to state, that you have some source of income, that your main income is from a country where you live. I live in EU. I'm a EU citizen, and I'm also a citizen of Poland. Under EU law, I'm allowed to work and live without any limits and permissions in all 27 member states of the European Union. And then I travel abroad and I make videos in many countries, also in the US, but this is my hobby. This is very important thing, because on the US border you should be asked, do you plan to work in the US? No. I will not work in the US. I have my job in Europe. For example, I'm an IT engineer. You can be wherever you want. I have a contract, or I'm self-employed. I have a company, whatever. I have a YouTube channel, but this channel is my hobby. It's not my job. And then you are clear that you don't attend to work in the US, because on the ESTA you are not allowed to work there. There's a problem because US visa system is very complicated, and this system is very old. It was created before internet time, before Z generation time, and before YouTube time. So it's very hard because they don't have any type of visa which is good for YouTubers. They don't have any type of visa for digital nomads. Many countries, also European countries, have this type of visa. For example, Spain, Portugal, and many other. But US doesn't have a type of visa dedicated especially for vloggers, for YouTubers, for influencers. They don't have it. So this is very important, that if you have a YouTube channel, and if you made it before as your main income, you need to change it. You need to change it to a hobby channel and have some other job if you want to go to the US. Because that can be a problem if you have only income from YouTube and you don't have income from your job. Because it is important that you need to have a main income from a main job, and as I repeat all the time, YouTube is your hobby. Even if you have some income from YouTube, from AdSense or donation, this is your hobby, and make it as a hobby channel. I hope this is clear.
Ty co kobiety chciałbyś zniewolić, pozbawić chciałbyś niewolnej woli. Rządzie biskupie, do was to mówię, wstydzi się was dziś kraj. Nie płaczcie siostry, ducha nie traćcie, uwierzcie w naszą wygraną w walce. Uwierzcie w to, że już niedługo piękniejszy będzie kraj.